What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, here once again to talk to you guys about Destiny. More specifically, Sunday, March 22nd at the Don Kolov Arena, Destiny presents Bad Intentions, and I've got some updates on the card. For anybody in the Brampton, Mississauga, Toronto, Greater Toronto area that wants to come out to the show, I believe there are still tickets on sale, and I'm just going to run down a few things. There's been a few news things that have come out on social media the past little while. I haven't had a chance to tell you, so I'm going to go do that now. I'm going to run it down kind of in the order that things were announced at the last show. At Destiny Carnage 6, we had the Fatal 4-Way that was supposed to have Enzo Amore in it. He was not able to be there. The replacement for that was Red Death Daniel Garcia, who I had never seen before. Great guy, put up a great fight in the match. Now, he and Channing Decker went off on their own, and the other two gentlemen that were in the match, it doesn't factor into what I'm saying here, but the other two in the match sort of factored into the finish of that match while Channing Decker and Garcia brawled into the back. They brawled out later on in the evening, and Channing Decker called out Red Death Daniel Garcia for I believe it's just a no-holds-barred hardcore match. I don't know what they're calling it. I don't have the graphic right in front of me, but we're going to get Red Death Daniel Garcia in a hardcore match of some degree with hardcore Channing Decker, and that's going to be really good. That was announced before the end of the night at the last show. The first announcement coming out after the fact was that we were going to have not only Mustache Mountain returning to the Don Kolov Arena to Destiny Wrestling for Bad Intentions, but also, I believe, is the Destiny debut of the current NXT Cruiserweight Champion, Jordan Devlin. Now, we didn't at the time know what these guys were actually going to be up to. I met Jordan Devlin the last time that Mustache Mountain were in. I think it was the show that they did SummerSlam weekend, but don't quote me. I could be wrong. Go back and check the dates on my photos. It's fine. For those of you that follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram at Spaz Phoenix, like you follow me on Twitter at Spaz Phoenix 1. I did get a chance very, very briefly to meet Jordan Devlin because he was there with the other guys, and he just seems like a genuinely chill dude, and it's cool that we're actually going to see him in the ring, because I saw him at the show and I was like, oh, he's going to do a run-in or something, and that just didn't happen, so I'm glad it's happening now. The announcement was made that these guys were coming. I think I made a video about that already. I'd have to go back in my own video history, but it was just that they were coming, returning / debuting, and with no matches announced. But we're going to get to that as we get to it. Now, the next match that was announced, and I didn't do a video on it because I didn't have the time at the time, unfortunately, was Kevin Blackwood, the current Destiny Next Generation champion, defending against Aiden Prince. Now, if you want a story on this, 2 Destiny shows ago, Kevin Blackwood won the Destiny Next Generation Championship away from Trey Miguel with the help of Marty Scurll. He then went on later on in the night to help Marty Scurll win the Destiny Championship from Josh Alexander, and they thought they had a cool little thing going on there. Now, Alexander versus Scurll, the rematch was set for Destiny Carnage 6, which was the last show, and Alexander won his title back, and Blackwood, who had set himself up with another helper in the form of El Diablo, they turned on Scurll at the end of the night, because Scurll went kind of babyface, kind of respectful to Josh Alexander, to the Canadian audience, to the Don Kolov audience, and to the Destiny wrestling fans in general. They turned on him and Alexander. So now you've got this new sort of pairing, I guess, because Marty Scurll's going off and doing his ROH stuff that I don't know very much about. You have this new sort of pairing of Kevin Blackwood and El Diablo, whose actual name I can't remember either. I don't know why you guys watch my videos, because I just ramble. But, so that's a little 2-story arc. You know, he teams up with Marty Scurll to get a belt. He retains his belt with somebody else's help and then dumps Marty Scurll. So where do the allegiances lie? And as far as an opponent goes, I thought we were going to, after what happened 2 shows ago when Channing Decker tried to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase, or their version of the cash it in briefcase, I'm sorry. I thought at some point we were going to get Kevin Blackwood versus Channing Decker. Channing Decker, obviously, already busy with Red Death Daniel Garcia. I have trouble with that. So Aiden Prince, sort of waiting in the wings a little bit, and I mean that in the most respectful way possible. It's a great shout. I mean, I don't know how it comes about that he becomes the #1 contender for the Next Generation Championship. I really don't. I don't know yet what they're doing with the Destiny World title because it hasn't been announced yet. But Aiden Prince is great. I don't know what to say other than the fact that the dude's great. He's a highlight of every show that I've ever been to. You guys know I went through the transition of, oh, I'm going to go because I know this guy or that guy or this guy or that guy from WWE, NXT, Impact, etc., to really, really picking my own favorites at Destiny. Aiden Prince is great. I know Aiden Prince is also on Impact, but you guys know me. There's enough wrestling to watch in the week. I don't get the chance. And I even had the fortunate opportunity after one of the shows to talk to him a little bit about that. Obviously give him kudos on the match that he had done that night, but also, yeah, Impact's something I really got to get a handle on. I haven't, unfortunately. I did see the pay-per-view a little bit ago where they put the title on Tessa Blanchard, but that's about all the Impact wrestling that I've seen. Aiden Prince versus Kevin Blackwood will be a fantastic match. I don't really know if they bounce the title over to him. I mean, that sort of decision is beyond me. Do we do more story building? Do we get El Diablo in there again? I like El Diablo too. El Diablo's a lot of fun, and as a team with Kevin Blackwood, it's a good shout. There aren't any Destiny tag team belts currently, just like there isn't a Destiny women's title belt currently. But I do put the shout out in the future if you want to start off a tag team division. We're going to talk about that in a second. But Kevin Blackwood and El Diablo as the inaugural Destiny tag team champions, once that next generation title has moved on to somebody else, might be a pretty good shout. It is important that it's a title match, don't get me wrong. I just look at the names and I look at what I've seen, the little bit that I've seen from Kevin Blackwood so far, and the majority of what I've seen from Aiden Prince so far, being one of the guys that makes me want to come to Destiny shows. It's just going to be a good match, and wherever the title goes, I don't know how to say this without sounding like a dick. Wherever the title goes isn't going to change my opinion of the match. Do we get more storytelling, like I say, with El Diablo? I don't know. Kevin Blackwood retains. It's not going to hurt my feelings. Aiden Prince is just going to go in there, put on a hell of a show, and it's going to be good. But, what did I say? Who's coming back? Mustache Mountain is coming back. As you guys know, Mustache Mountain being part of British Strong Style along with Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne was the Destiny champion when I first started going to Destiny shows. Famously now, the match that got me to start going to Destiny shows was Pete Dunne versus John Morrison, which was fantastic, and we sort of moved on from there. The Destiny title going from Pete Dunne, who I saw defend against Marty Scurll and Austin Aries and James Ellsworth, of all people, and I want to say Rich Swann, but I think I'm wrong. Eventually dropping it to Josh Alexander, who dropped it to Marty Scurll, who dropped it back to Josh Alexander. I mean, Pete Dunne's on NXT proper now. I don't know how the TV stuff works, and when you're on proper NXT versus NXT UK. I don't know. Just as far as I know right now, he's not on the show, but the other two are, and what are you gonna do with them? They're brawlers. They do the hard hitting stuff. I saw them take on, who was it? It was Michael Elgin and Josh Alexander at one point, and that was just, I'm going to steal a phrase from one of the guys at What Culture, that was 4 big pork chops in a dryer machine. That was such a hard-hitting match. I was lucky enough to sit front row for, and it was absolutely fantastic. But what are they doing this time? They are taking on Sabotage, who I saw for the first time at the last show, at Carnage 6. And all I can tell you is that these are two guys that are going to give them a really good brawl. I'm not going to totally spill my guts out over Sabotage after seeing them once, because the match I saw was good, but everybody can have a good or a bad night, etc. Not wishing a bad match on them, don't get me wrong. But they are also taking on the team of Hakeem Zayn, who I really don't have much to say about at all, unfortunately. But he's teaming up with Jake Something, who I've seen exactly one time, and my reaction is, well, he's a big motherfucker, and that's awesome. I had the reaction to Jake Something, and obviously your reaction live is very different than seeing the reaction on TV, on YouTube, etc. But I had the same reaction to him that I had when I saw Walter on TV for the first time when he debuted in NXT UK. Just big motherfucker. And I don't want to get lazy with the WWE reference, but it's sort of the Braun Strowman Braun Strowman going for the tag titles. I mean, Braun Strowman could probably go for the tag titles by himself. They did the thing with the kid just to prove that he could basically do it by himself. Pretty sure Jake something could win a tag team match by himself. Now, that's not to take away from Hakeem Zayn, who I don't know. I'm not as familiar with, so I don't know much to say about. He looks to be a much smaller dude, so you could have the powerhouse and the speed guy. That's a dynamic that works a lot in a lot of different wrestling promotions. But yeah, it'll be really good. Triple threat matches are no DQ, so you get a bunch of guys that are going to smack the fuck out of each other, put a no disqualification stipulation on it, and you never know. You never know what's going to happen. Now, the only thing left to speculate at this point is what Jordan Devlin, the current NXT Cruiserweight Champion, is going to do. Now, I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to even hazard a guess, but they are doing a show, I think a day or two before this show, out in Sarnia, which is a little bit farther from me. I won't be going to that show, but one of the matches on that card is Channing Decker versus Jordan Devlin. Really, really, really jealous of the folks in Sarnia, I'm not going to lie. But Channing Decker is facing, once again I'm going to say, Daniel Garcia on this show. So unless he's doing double duty, he won't be facing Jordan Devlin. Jordan Devlin is a champion. What sells better than a champion versus champions match? I'm not saying that this is happening. I'm just fantasy booking in my own fucking brain. How about we get the current reigning NXT Cruiserweight Champion Jordan Devlin versus the current reigning Destiny World Champion Josh Alexander, the Irish Ace versus the Walking Weapon. Is that happening? Is it fuck? I don't know. As soon as I find out what Jordan Devlin is doing on this show, especially after the match he had with Lio Rush last week on NXT that just reminded us all of what these guys both can do, it's one of those things where I look up and down the Destiny roster, and the people that I would love to see him have a match with are already doing stuff, which is really unfortunate. I would love to see Jordan Devlin versus Channing Decker. Like I say, the folks out in Sarnia are getting that. I would love to see champion versus champion with him and Blackwood, but they're both heels, so you never quite know how that's going to work, and Blackwood already has an opponent in Aiden Prince. Aiden Prince is somebody that I would love to see take on Jordan Devlin, but he's obviously busy already. I don't know. You could go the other way and have him have a more lighthearted match. You could have him go up against somebody like RJ City. You could have him go up against somebody else from another promotion. You could have... we know that they have ties with AEW as well. I got the chance to meet Sean Spears not too long ago because of Destiny. I mean, put him up against, like, the relationships that Destiny... I'm going to go off on a tangent now. The relationships that Destiny has are absolutely amazing. They have relationships with WWE, NXT, NXT UK, ROH, AEW, Impact. Like, realistically speaking, because the lights aren't on as bright and there's no cameras involved, you could see a dream match like Jordan Devlin versus Darby Allin. How fucking good would that be? I'm not saying it's happening. I'm just giving them the credit of the connections that they have. Camera dies. Gotta love it. And again, like it's been doing a lot recently, it does it in the last 30 seconds of a video that I'm trying to do. Yeah, I'm done speculating on who Jordan Devlin's going to be facing on this show, because it will become clear sooner or later. All the ideas that I'm pulling out of my ass probably are not happening. I want to be very clear about that. I just want to shout out the unique experience that is going to a Destiny show, because not only do they have that home talent that I love, they have all those connections to all those different places, have provided me with all the different opportunities to meet all the different stars from all these different places right in my own not in my own backyard, one city away, 20 minutes away by cab. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up because now I'm just rambling. Bad Intentions, Sunday, March 22nd at the Don Kolov Arena in Mississauga. Check out Destiny Wrestling on Facebook. Check out at Destiny Wrestle on Twitter, at Destiny World Wrestling on Instagram. Go to one of those places. I'm sure there will be tickets still available. I really do encourage you, because I was one of those guys that didn't used to watch or didn't used to have any interest in like the indies, quote unquote. I was just the WWE guy and all that sort of thing. As somebody that's sort of been turned around on that idea, if there's any of you, especially like I say, if you're in the area, if you're in the neighborhood, if you're in the GTA whatsoever, and you can get to the Don Kolov on March 22nd, I really, really do encourage you to do it. Last show that I was at, I got to meet YouTube's own Christian Miracle, and he seemed to be a decent guy, even though all he does is make fun of wrestling. You never know who you're going to meet at a Destiny show, is the moral of this story. I am done rambling. I am absolutely done rambling. Check out Destiny. I've been Spaz, your YWC reality check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation. Keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I will talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, I am tagging out. Bye, guys.
Don't shine, come a freak like me.